again. All right, here we go. Now everybody will be able to see my notes. So, call to order. Oops, I spelled that wrong, but. So, on the board, nailed. Do you approve of the agenda?
Yeah.
Approved. All right, if you don't mind, these two I would just like to table. I'm not,
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to look at this fleet safety program. Again, I don't want to forget it. It still needs to be done. I haven't had a chance to look at it. And the grading and graduation requirements, I'd like to wait till everybody's here.
Okay.
All right, Mrs. Blazinski was on it.
Yeah, I messaged her.
Okay. Since we're recording, I don't want to. So this is just, I literally took a copy of last year's plan and copied it. So you'll see some stuff crossed out, like I'll change the review date. I have to double check on my community members. And I think, yep, Susan, you know, are these parents still willing to be part of it? I will double check on that. And really I didn't, you'll see what I changed. So I'm going to scroll through a little fast because there's really nothing changed in here. I did make sure these all were linked. Last year I didn't have them all linked because we didn't have all of them. So now they're linked. Okay, so she had a question about needing to up our agreements, and that's, yes, I need to look at the MOUs for those. Again, same question with this one, with, are the parents willing to be on here? And we need contact information. I still had Brook Radio, so I removed that and put Hackle in there. And then, yeah, it's a long document, so I'm assured you read it from cover to cover.
Oh, yeah. I read most of it. I skimmed through it all.
Yeah, it's a lot of repeated, so I did remove something in here about creating the Go Kits, because I'm like, they're created now, we're done, we don't need that. And this is just a form to fill out. And then it gets into, this is still the form, the role of our team. And then this is, I just didn't feel we needed all of this. So I literally just crossed it out. Staff shouldn't be dealing with media, period.
No.
They're going to ask them something, and the best thing they can say is, you need to talk to the right person.
Right.
And then these are all the policies about how to do things. So they're linked, large group crisis, bombs, threats. And again, nothing really had changed on here. So it takes me longer to scroll through. Then there's another section about, okay, so I did update. So there's a new high school counselor there. And there's a new superintendent and principal and school counselor. Weston had a big changeover, I guess. I got them. Okay, the rest of them all stayed the same, which I was impressed with. And then I have this all updated, and we have our new nonviolent crisis intervention training, which I have. His name, and then I will link the telephone list. We printed it out, and we're asking people right now, so that'll go in there. Oh, and the other thing I took out was all the suicide stuff. I shortened it. That's what it is. There was like 6 pages on suicide and what to do.
Yeah.
And it's, no, I didn't get rid of it. I'm going to still cut it down. So this is all suicide. And not that we don't have a policy for it. It's just that doesn't need to be printed in this manual. I don't think so. So I'll snip this down. And that's that whole policy. Questions on that one?
No.
Okay. Form for leave. This is a form we were given by, and that's what you have in front of you. So the lawyers wrote it. So usually I don't question, but the stuff that is highlighted is something that we have to talk about. So this is for the FFCRA. It's one of the new laws they passed in March or April or wherever. And because of the 2 different leaves, so there's emergency paid leave and emergency family and medical leave. So they both apply. So somebody could apply for both if they really wanted to. Basically, what our lawyer said was, look at this, ask if you have any questions, and then as soon as anybody applies, give us a call. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
But I'm sharing the form because it makes sense to share it. So these are the reasons. So the only reason you can take the expansion FMLA leave is because of daycare, basically, or your child is in school. If we were to close school for whatever reason and still made the employees attend and they didn't have daycare for their kid, then they could work from home or take whatever. So that's that. This is still a normal, this is all new, but I don't, you know, it's not my forte because, look, again, lawyers. So the yellow part is what we would accept or not, and I still don't even have this 100% in my brain, but I wanted to get it out there at least. I don't know if we've ever given anybody intermittent leave. Those are our choices. He said if you don't do intermittent leave, then just take it off of there. But that's why it's highlighted. And then they have to explain why intermittent leave. So it does say intermittent leave is only permitted for childcare, and proposed schedule for intermittent leave is subject to the approval of the employer. So again, I don't know if I can't ever remember us having intermittent leave. So what they explained it to me was that if we had, so let's say we went every other day, we had half cohorts or whatever. And so, let's do it this way, it's easier. If Richland went to half-day cohorts and my teacher had nobody to watch their child on the days that they weren't allowed in school. So my teacher here could ask for leave because of childcare. And that's the right column. They could actually ask for leave for childcare on the first column, and then they can use 80 days. Again, I don't know all the rules, but they would not consider the every other day thing to be intermittent. Well, then what is it? So I don't understand all of it yet, but I just, again, sometimes I have to read through it 5 or 6 times and then it starts to click a little bit. So I'm never going to do this without the lawyer sitting next to me. And it's not even this isn't going to become a policy. It's just a procedure that we need to kind of, and then the purple stuff, and we do have, depending on who you are. So if I needed leave, for whatever reason, I was exposed and I needed to take leave, I could use paid time off if I have it, which I don't. I could use vacation hours, which if I have it, which I do, and sick leave hours, which if I have it, and I do. So some people don't have sick leave hours because they just started. They just have paid time off. Right. If you have vacation hours, like only admin and the office ladies have vacation hours. So it's, again, we need to leave them all in there. And then they can substitute, wiggle my mouse here, their accrued pay leave to be supplemented. And then they can use it that way. And again, it's the same thing with the FFCRA emergency leave. And then the part I like about this is that they have to document. So if they have to quarantine themselves or self-isolate, who's telling them this? And where's the documentation? And then if they're requesting leave for childcare, they have to provide the name of the kids and all that kind of stuff. And again, that's just a formality. So if we're using this form, they may elect not to permit employees to take intermittent leave. So we would just remove all the yellow stuff. And then we do have all those paid leaves. But again, underneath, but for the staff, they can't check vacation. If they're a teacher, they don't get vacation. So that would have to be understood. Okay. So again, this is just for your information. And then we just start going down the policies. Did you see anything? Did you add?
I didn't see anything different than what she had on.
Okay, so you must have gone, she did them, she started yesterday. So, okay. So this one, and what I'm gonna do, Kelly, is I'm just gonna, oops, that's not what I wanted. Has this got more than one page? No, that is so weird. I'm just gonna say, you good with this? And then I'm gonna put today's date because we're just reviewing them. 9/16/20. Okay, you're good with that one? Awesome. loaning tools and use of equipment. And I don't think we need this revised in here. And here's another revised in here. And I think 15 cents makes sense for copies. So, and if you're good with it, 9/16/20. That's it. And athletic banquet. And then I've gone through every single policy at the end of this meeting. Every single policy I've gone through. So this is all one line.
Yeah.
So again, reviewed. Longer to type them, and I can't type, Kelly. You know that, right? I wish I could go back to high school and take typing. Athletic meal policy, and this is some of this is prescribed by WIAA, but why do you do that? So meal money will be furnished to anybody state designated contest. Well, that's interesting because we never give it to like the forensics, and they all pay for their own. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I should bring, well, I don't want to bring it up. It costs more money that way. I'm kind of cheap. I'm getting really cheap. State attorney policy. So students will not be excused to attend. Transportation, it's all listed. Again, this isn't, I don't really want to change it, but if I haven't looked at it. Coaches get release time, only varsity coaches. And it was approved in November 26, 2007. So I'll just put reviewed. Aren't you glad you joined this committee?
Yeah.
We don't have too much work here.
No.
Okay, go back up. There we go. Coaches tournament tickets. Oops. Can I type on here? No, I gotta pop that out. Again, it's just never been reviewed. One day only at state tournaments for 1 day. How about at only state tournaments?
So what would happen, say, like the baseball team when they went, they played, or did they do it all in 1 day or 2 days?
Well, if you're playing there, you get to go.
Right.
They don't make you buy
So
tickets.
this is saying if they just went for the state tournament, they'd buy it for 1 time.
So football has playoffs someplace, we'd pay for a day of their going to the tournament. Activity passes. I don't even know if we have this anymore. Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Now that I'm reading it. Again.
You can have like a prorated one too or something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get that out of here and make it so it looks the same as everything else. And it's not the same size. It's so weird. Oh well, I'll play with it. Look at here. The attached to the. I'll have to make sure that looks better. I just love. Steve Pearson worked here when I first started.
Oh.
So he wrote this in '96, and I take those out. So it was approved, but I laugh because my one memory of him, other than me saying, he's like, "Do you want the job?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want the job." And he goes, "I'm so glad you didn't say, 'Can I think about it?'" Like, no, I want the job. It was like 3 days before school started. And that's one memory. And then the other one was when I walked in his office and he was playing solitaire on his computer. Like, whoops. And this is health and safety, so it's a general welfare one. And I know we did, I swear we did this. Ashtray, I swear we had school property. Oh, I don't see if I can see. I didn't see any changes on this one. Alcohol beverages, and again, I hate, maybe I could leave that there, but put reviewed. Controlled drugs. That's nice that he did all that. I wonder what he's doing, if he's even still living.
Hmm.
Oops. The basketball superintendent passed away.
Oh,
51.
wow.
Greg Bell, his name was. He found out in late summer, like July or August, that he had pancreatic cancer. And it's September 15th and he died.
Wow.
Holy mackerel. I feel horrible.
Yeah.
Such a young guy. 1001. Same deal. Actually, we talked about this today in celebration. I have a celebration committee. So we will provide a bereavement memorial, and usually we just buy a plant, but, and that's the whole policy.
Yep.
And, oh, that's the other thing we need to do, the Ithaca Education Association. So we don't have that anymore. So the teachers, about their peers. What do you think? Okay. Boy, thought that was going to take longer. And so our next meeting is October 21 at 5 o'clock. Put 5 o'clock on here. Adjourn. Adjourned. So stop share. Do you have anything else?
No.
Stop recording.